everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I am risking exposing myself on the internet to talk about monster and alien romance. Monster and alien romance has to be one of my most read subgenres of fantasy romance. It's one I don't talk about all the time. I go through phases of reading nothing but monster romance and just wanting to talk about it. It's definitely been a while since I've done like a full rundown of some of my favourites, books I'd recommend to you if you're looking to read more monster and alien romance, or if you've already read a bunch and you just want some more books to add to your TBR, this could be the video for you. This is a no judgment zone, so leave your recommendations for your favourite monster and alien romances in the comments below so that I can go through and add some to my TBR as well. Most of the ones that we're going to talk about today are series I have read and loved and recommend so highly. But there's a couple that are on my TBR. They're priority monster and alien romance reads on my TBR, so I'll talk about those at the end too. I'm including probably a lot of subgenres within the subgenre of monster. So for example, some of these are orc romance recommendations. I'm just encapsulating it all under monster and alien romance, and I hope that's okay. These picks are all very spicy. They're all 18 plus. And without any further ado, let's dive straight into the video. The first series I want to talk about is actually the series that prompted me to make this video, and it's because the series is currently going through the process of being rewritten to be longer and then also being traditionally published. The series that I'm talking about is of course the Leviathan Fitness series by Ashley Bennett. I have read the 3 books that are out in this world in their indie versions. You can probably tell these are quite small. These are more novella sized. I think book 3 is classed as a full-length novel. The rest are more novellas. But I received a piece of PR mail today, which I think, from what I can tell through the tissue paper, is the new traditionally published version of Muscles and Monsters. So let's open this and take a look. It looks so good. So this one is the brand new traditionally published version of Muscles and Monsters, and I believe they are doing the rest of the Leviathan Fitness series to match. I love that they've kept the cover art very, very similar. Anyway, you're not here to talk about the cover. Let's talk about the book series. This I'm going to recommend to you if you usually enjoy a cozier or a small town romance and you like a monster romance. Or if you're brand new to monster romance, I also think this one is a fantastic one to go with. Now, as you've seen, I've just opened this. I haven't read the revised and extended version of this story yet, but the original one was so cute, so cozy, spicy and sweet, and just like everything delicious I needed in a monster romance. I enjoyed all 3 of these pretty equally. I think the first one was my favourite. This first one is a wolf shifter and human relationship. Book 2, I think they classify him as a kraken. He's got tentacles, if that helps, and this one is a male-male romance. And then book 3 is a minotaur romance, and this one is also a later in life romance, so this actually follows the characters from the first 2 books. The humans in both of those are brother and sister. This is their mum. This one definitely fits into that sweeter genre of monster romance. It's low stakes, it's relatively slow pace, and really focused in on the romance and the spice. If there was ever going to be traditionally published monster romance, this series absolutely deserves to be there. And I'm so happy that this is going to be able to reach so many more people now that it has a brand new paperback. And of course, I'm excited to give this a reread now that the story is a bit longer. In the novella, it is very focused on their very fast developing relationship. And I'm excited to spend some more time with Atlas and Tegan in the new version. Definitely for you, if you like monster romance where the love interests are obsessed with each other and you want a more cutesy and cozy read. The next one is actually a wintry or Christmas recommendation, but I'm including this in this video because if you don't want to read a Christmas read right now, I get it, but add this to your TBR for when you do want to read Christmas reads. This one is also co-written by Ashley Bennett, which is the author we just spoke about, but also Cleo Evans. There are 2 novellas in this one. So this has both novellas in the book, but you can read both of them separately. This has Monster Pucker and Monster Pucked. This first one is a wintry Christmas sports romance with a human female main lead and then a Krampus and a Yeti. Oh, I should not have quickly scrolled through this. Oh, Jesus. And the second book, Monster Pucked, has a human. I haven't actually read this one, so I'm not too sure what the monster element in this is. He looks like potentially some kind of troll or orc. This one is a male-male romance, and I'm saving this for this winter. These ones do include some element of kink in there as well. I mean, I'd say most monster romances do, actually. This is a gorgeous edition. I feel like I'm going to get questions about this. I picked this up at a signing. I don't know if they still do these or if they're available on their website. But if not, they are available as separate novellas. I think I originally read this first one on KU. This one, again, fits into that very sweet and cozy novella style of monster romance. Kind of similar to the Leviathan Fitness that we've just spoke about. Some of my favourite monster romances to ever exist are, of course, written by Emma Hamm. I couldn't pick a favourite between these 2. Maybe if you forced me, I'd pick the Whispers of the Deep series, or the Deep Water series, it's also known as. This is Merman Smut. He is 17 foot long. I didn't know how this was going to work. You know, kudos to Emma Hamm for figuring out how this underwater romance was going to exist. This is now a complete series, I believe, and again, it's available on Kindle Unlimited. I do have some gorgeous foiled signing editions, so I'll show you some of the ones that I have. These are kind of dystopian, end of the worldy as well, which I really, really enjoyed. Super duper spicy, but also like one of my favorite things about monster romances and alien romances is like that moment where they cannot communicate. They have to communicate not through words. Watching these two hate each other and struggle to communicate is honestly one of the highlights of my entire life. Each book in this series follows a different couple, but they are all interlinked, so if you're going to pick this one up, I would recommend reading these in the order that they're published. So the first book is Whispers of the Deep. Book 2, and I don't actually have a copy of this, is A Song of the Abyss. I don't have a copy of it because mine was slightly damaged, and I've pre-ordered the signing exclusive again for when I'm seeing Emma Hamm this year, so that's why I don't have a copy. Book 3 is Echoes of the Tide. Book 4 is Call of the Fathoms. I also don't have a copy of this edition because I've been collecting the special editions for when I see the author at signings, and I saw her in April last year, and this has come out since then, but I have pre-ordered a copy of this for when I see her at Polycon. And the final book in the series, I haven't read this one yet, is Secrets of the Void. Look at this moody merman and tell me, like, you don't want to devour this immediately. The only reason I actually have a copy of this one is because I'm a member of the author's Patreon and I get signed books as they come out because of the tier that I'm on. But again, if she has it in time, I will be pre-ordering a foiled signing edition of this one. I think the Deep Water series will be for you if you enjoy kind of heavier enemies to lovers plot lines. You don't mind elements of sci-fi and dystopian in your books. You're looking for something a little weird and wonderful. I mean, I think I could say that with any of the books on this list, but like, I mean, you could just dive, you see what I did there, straight into this one. If you're really unsure about monster romance, I would start with a softer option, potentially like the other Emma Hamm series I'm going to talk about, or the Leviathan Fitness series, which we just discussed. This is one of my favourites of all time though. It's between this and another for like my favourite monster romance series. I will say as well, Emma Hamm, the author, commissioned some of the most perfect artwork of her characters in this series, as for all of her series, but particularly this one. I love looking at that artwork. Definitely give this one a go. Hey, if I can see how this would scare some of you, I recently made my friend Rosie read this. She loves it. She's now also an Emma Hamm mega fan. Also, I am low-key terrified of the ocean, and this hasn't made that any better, but maybe there's a hot merman swimming around somewhere in there for me if I ever get stranded. The other Emma Hamm series I wanted to recommend to you is her, what is this called? The book is called A Darkness So Sweet. What is the series called? I cannot find the name of this series, but it's the Darkness So Sweet series. This is a troll romance. If you're looking for very specifically more humanoid monster love interest, I think you would enjoy this one. This one does have an element of darkness to it. And again, this is the glorious signing exclusive paperback that the author did at Polycon last year, but you can read this on Kindle Unlimited. I would also recommend this to you if you are a big romantasy fan. If you like your fantasy world with like warriors and knights in shining armors and like traveling across the kingdoms and political bargains, I think you would like this one the most. If, again, you like your enemies to lovers struggling to communicate, not because of words this time, but just because of cultural differences. But also if you like a man who grovels. If you like a man who grovels for his wife. I read this and immediately wanted to become a troll wife. I have to say as well, I can see some similarity between the character design of these blokes, other like orcs and troll-like creatures, but also the characters in Avatar. If you're an Avatar girly, this one might be for you. The setting for this one was really, really vivid for me if you do like your more in-depth world building ones. I mean, I think both of the Emma Hamm ones do a perfect job of that. They are more in-depth worlds. From Whispers of the Deep. This one was a fantastic first start in the series. There is only 2 books out in this one at the moment, but there is A Darkness So Sweet. And then again, because I'm on the author's Patreon, I do have a copy of A Light So Blinding, which is book 2. I have pre-ordered the foiled edition to match book 1, but this one I just get sent as part of my Patreon package, so I do have a copy of book 2 in my hands. Similar to Whispers of the Deep, both of these stories follow different characters. I really enjoy the hand art in here as well of them holding hands. Definitely if you like your more action-packed fantasy romance, I think you would enjoy these ones. This next one is another cozier monster romance option, but one that is still set within that fantasy world. Again, this feels a little bit kind of slower paced, lower stakes, kind of. Now I think about it, the stakes are relatively high, but I don't know how the author has managed to craft this into such a cozy D&D adventuring style story. And that is the Monstrous World series by S.E. Wendell. This one is orc romance. I loved both of these so much. They were absolutely fantastic. Book 1 is Halfling. Features a half orc, half human man and then a female lead that is human. This one, again, especially in the beginning, has some darker undertones and some kind of darker commentary. Book 2 follows an orc blacksmith and a princess. Both of these books, the couples are treated quite unlikely. I know in some of the other ones I've recommended, it's more normal for monsters and humans to be together. Mainly those cozy ones right at the beginning. The Emma Ham also have this idea of like a forbidden romance, and I think that's one of the reasons I love monster romance so much, is the element of the forbidden, and these certainly have that. If you've already read A Darkness So Sweet, or you've already read Halfling, I think you would like the other one. These ones also had quite a lot of light and humour to help balance out some of that darker storytelling in the beginning. Why now am I looking at these that I'm just thinking like Shrek? Of the two, my favourite was the first one, but I think mainly just because I enjoyed this couple. This personally just spoke to me a little bit more than the second one. I believe there is now a third one in this book as well, which doesn't follow an orc. It follows, I believe he's a elf or a fae, but I believe they're both some kind of monstrous species in that one rather than having a human counterpart. And the author now also has a gargoyle romance out, I believe, that is called Heartsong. That one's been traditionally published. So quite a lot in the world of S.E. Wendell if this kind of cozier travelling style of fantasy is more your thing. I'm thinking Tusk Love. Obviously Tusk Love could have been on this list. I don't know, I've not included it. If you liked Tusk Love, I think these are the most similar to Tusk Love by Thea Gwanzon. It's giving long journeys via carriage and stopping in at taverns to drink some mead. I really enjoyed these ones. Something back more into that contemporary monster romance phase. These are the Monster Smash Agency books by Catherine Moon. These ones are more comparable to your more contemporary romances. They're set in a world like ours. There is a third book as well that I don't have in physical format, and that is a Mothman romance. I mean, you kind of guessed at this point, it was made it onto this list. It is one I really enjoyed. This one in particular, actually, Catherine Marie has some other monster romances. It's a good author to check out if you want to have a look at some other kind of wider monster romance. For example, the Lady of Rooksgrave Manor series. I have, what's that one called? Tempting? Can't remember the name of that one. I did have that one. I actually prefer this one. This one is my preference, but it completely depends on what you're looking for. These ones offered a lot of emotion and heart in the story. They're not forbidden in the sense that monsters and humans can't be together. It's quite normal in this world for that to happen. This first one features a female main character who's just not quite satisfied, and she doesn't know why. She enlists the help of a local orc who's working in the adult business to help her find out what she's missing in her life. Book 2. This one made me sob. This is following the gargoyle has a similar profession to the orc we've just discussed who works in the adult industries, and our female main character in this one is a werewolf. She's a recently turned werewolf and she's struggling to find a partner who can kind of match her strength in the bedroom. She's still very much adjusting to the capabilities of her new body and like what that means, and she's just struggling to find somebody to love her who isn't fetishizing her. This one is just like two lost souls finding each other. I sobbed. My favourite series is still to come. I still have more on this list. I appreciate, like, take a break now if you need to take a break. I appreciate some of this might be new to some of you. And I remember when I first heard about monster romance being like, oh no, I really don't think that's for me. I really don't think I'm going to enjoy that. How odd, how strange. I was lying to myself. This is my entire personality now. I can't make this video and not mention the big one, otherwise the comments are just going to be flooded with like, where is C.M. Nascosta's Morning Glory Milking Farm? I have read the first 3 books in this series. So Morning Glory Milking Farm, Moon Blooded Breeding Clinic, and the Mothman one that I cannot remember. I haven't read Two for Tea. There's a tea one. I haven't read that one. These are fine. I did enjoy these. These are not the series I would kind of recommend as my top recommendations, but I feel like I have to mention them just because they are so iconic. I feel like a lot of people found out about monster romance because of this series. If you want to just kind of dip your toes into a lot of different things, you're not sure what you're after, try these. They're iconic for a reason. They're not my personal favourites, so I wouldn't have put them on this list unless I felt they had a place here because of their like prominence in the genre. So if you like monster romance and you haven't read these yet, I feel like you kind of have to. This was the gateway monster romance for a lot of people. Not for me, actually. I read these after I'd already read a few, but this was the gateway for a lot of people. These ones are great if you're just looking for like pure smut, less on the storyline, less on the like emotional, heartfelt, less on the like dystopian world building or fantasy world. If you just want something that feels a bit like a super smutty contemporary romance with some weirdness, these ones are for you. Next up is one of my favourite monster romances, if not my favourite monster romances of all time. This is Opal Rain's Dusk Walker Brides series. This one is going to be for you if you want this to feel like a very full, high stakes, dangerous fantasy or fantasy romance book, but you want the love interest to be monstrous. I cannot stress this enough. The world is so vivid. It is so well written, so well crafted. This one, I think if you took the monsters out of it and it was like a standard fantasy romance novel, I think would be so much more popular. Not that it isn't popular, lots of people love this one. Again, this one looks at the forbidden. It looks slightly at the taboo within this world. It does have elements of darkness and violence, and the world is gritty and bleak. These humans are living in a world where demons are a real threat, and the villages that they're living in are constantly under attack from them. And the Dusk Walkers, which aren't quite demons, but they are the scariest thing out there, do happen to offer some hope to our leading... I almost said ladies, but there is a male-male romance in this one too. This is a Dusk Walker. Just in case you were wondering what a Dusk Walker looked like, here he is. This is Rhea and Orpheus. They're the couple in book 1, and each of these books, a lot like the ones we spoke about, follows a different couple in each book. I've loved all of these except for book 2. I really couldn't get behind the female main character of book 2. I think I'm kind of in the minority there. Lots of people love her. It just wasn't personally for me. Book 1 still remains a strong favourite. Book 3 was also one of my favourites, as was book 6. Books 1, 3 and 6, my all-time favourites of this whole series. These Dusk Walkers are something else. They are so much more dangerous than so many of the other creatures in these books. And I think they're also one of the least human monsters that you can come across. Whilst they're still humanoid in the way that their body is formed, like they very clearly have like fur and their exoskeleton and like a skull for a face and like glowing orbs for eyes, these things kind of gave me nightmares for a little bit. But equally there is real threats here. Like Rhea is kind of offered up to Orpheus in some kind of old ritual for protection against the village that she's from. Watching, and I mean this in every coupling pretty much, watching them having to build that trust, watching how hard these Dusk Walkers have to work, and they just want love, they just want company. They're lonely creatures and they're ferocious and fearsome, but they just want somebody to talk to. This one and all the series, I'm talking about all the series here, has got me in the feels many a time. Fantastic if you like a darker, grittier fantasy, you're wanting a monstrous love interest, but you're wanting something that still feels kind of more high and epic in nature. This series is spectacularly done. 10 out of 10, Opal. There is now a spin-off to this series, which I haven't read yet, that follows the people that brought the Dusk Walkers into being, because somebody had to create them. It follows their backstory. I haven't got around to reading that one though, but I am seeing really positive things about that one too. I just can't say enough things that are positive about Dusk Walker Brides. It is genuinely one of the best monster romances. This is one of my first gateway monster romances. It's one of the ones I first went in with. These books are a bit longer. These special editions look a little bit shorter actually, but they are quite long books. Yeah, the writing in these is quite small. I feel like on Kindle they're around 500 pages each. Some of the bigger ones are kind of more pushing that 600-700 page limit. So if you're looking for a more in-depth world, something with kind of more rules around it and how it works, and like a bigger just landscape to explore, but also like more to dive into fantasy wise, more to get your teeth into, this is a fantastic one. And even if you're not looking for that, please give these a read. These are fantastic. These are just incredible. I don't know anyone that's read these and not enjoyed them. Please, I'm slightly feral for them. There is this one scene where she's trying to run away from him and she runs and he gets to the point of basically ripping her head off, and then he's like I'm so sorry, where are my manners? Sorry, I lost control there for a second. And I don't know why that did things to me, but look, I was sold at that point. In case anyone's wondering what these are the Fake Rate editions, but they do have really beautiful just standard paperbacks. The cover art on them is really gorgeous. Just so I've shown you the other ones in the set, there's also a Soul to Revive, Soul to Steal, Soul to Protect, and a Soul to Embrace. These ones are getting new dust jackets though, just because the font isn't supposed to be green, it's supposed to be holographic like the others. There's no way I could make this video and not talk about the series that started it all for me, and that is Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. Now, Ruby Dixon also has another series, the Artifactual Guild series, the Minotaur one. I'll put a cover of it here. This one I don't rate as much. This one I'm not as big a fan of, but if aliens aren't your thing and you want to give Ruby Dixon a go, this one could be more for you if you're more into your monster romance. Planet Barbarians started it all for me. This is where it began. This is when I discovered alien romance. I read this as a joke. I read this for like a dare. I saw this everywhere. I was like, wouldn't it be hilarious if I read Planet Barbarians? I bet it's so bad. This has changed my life. I would not be sat here talking about all of this if it wasn't for you. I am so sorry. I didn't know what I was missing. I'm never a judgmental reader, like ever. I never go into a book wanting to hate it. This is kind of like what The Love Hypothesis did. Like when I read The Love Hypothesis, it was from a place of like, surely it can't be that good. Why is everybody banging on about it? It can't be that great. Let me read it. Come on, give me a copy. Let me have it. And then I was like, oh wait, no, it is actually fantastic. I did the same thing with this. I was like, surely not. Surely not everybody is loving. Like, what am I missing? There's got to be something in here. Like, surely it can't be that good. Yeah, it was. To this day, I will say the rest of the series I have enjoyed, but not loved as much as book 1. I think the storyline is becoming a bit samey. I've read the first 10 books in this series. I don't know if I'll be reading any more. I might do. But the first ones are spectacular. They are nothing short of phenomenal. Again, slightly dark, particularly in the beginning of this one, but if you're wanting to read about aliens that really treat their women the way that they deserve to be treated, this one. Also, this is just funny. This is just a funny, good time, super easy. Again, I feel like this is a bit of a gateway book for alien romance. I have to mention this one. It is no longer my favourite. I do think there is one out there that is better than this. But I do think I highly recommend it. I think everybody should read it if they haven't already. What series do I think is better than Planet Barbarians? I hear you ask in the future. Let me tell you. Victoria Aveline's Clanian series can absolutely get it. If you haven't read the Clanian series, you are missing out. This set my expectations for everything in life. Men, books, my job, everything through the roof. This is set on a planet called Clania. It follows a group of women similar to Planet Barbarians that have been taken from Earth against their will and now find themselves needing help on an alien planet. These aliens, I will say, are more human than they are in Planet Barbarians, although there are some outliers, such as Veraco. He has green skin. And Sixth Hand, everybody loved Ruling Sixth Hand the most. I think that's the most loved book of the whole series. He's got like a metal tail kind of thing. These just bring me so much joy. I have so much joy. Sometimes I just reread these because I get sad. If I'm ever sad, it's you that sorts me out. Victoria Aveline is probably absolutely sick of hearing from me now because I just love these so much. This is another author. There's only 2 patrons that I pay for. This one and Emma Ham. The stories of these have just absolutely sent me. They're such a good fun time. I cannot put these down. I usually read these in like a full day. There is 8 of them. I've got 4 of them in the discreet hardbacks. I think she has done a couple more now. If you search for this series, if you search Choosing Theo, it will show up. It might have a cover with like a blue man chest on there, or like it's a blue cover with a man chest. All the books, the original covers, they're very Manchesty, okay? As long as that's fine with you, crack on. I originally read these on Kindle Unlimited, but I had to pick up the hardback special editions. I do also have a fake crate set of these. I'm just waiting for them to finish. Freeing Luca is book 2. Saving Veraco is book 3. Tempting Orzed is book 4. And then there are another 4 books in this series, maybe another 5 books in this series. Off the top of my head, in not the right order because I won't remember them, there is Using Feo, Releasing Maladek, Ruling Sixth Hand, Bewitching Rhaego. I feel like I'm missing one. Anytime one of these books releases, I am reading it immediately. I don't care what I'm reading, I'm putting it down and I'm picking up this. It's just, this is my comfort zone. I didn't think I would find my comfort on an alien planet that's not real, that we know of, unless Victoria Aveline, you know something that we don't. I didn't realise I'd find my home here, but I want to go to Clacania. Please pick me up on your next stop. I would like to visit or stay. I would like to move in. Can I move in? This was sold to me by my friend Rosie, who also loves this series, as like, oh yeah, the guys like have to compete in this beauty pageant kind of thing where like the women pick. And I was like, you know, I'm not really sold on that. That's not really doing it. When you actually read it, okay, with context, just go read this. In fact, I'm not telling you anything else. If you take one thing away from this video, it is please, please, please go and read the Clacanian series. It needs so much more hype. That is everything on my list of books I'm recommending to you. I do have a couple that are on my TBR as priority reads that I want to talk about as well, just in case you've read all of those. Up first on my priority TBR is another orc romance, and this is, the first book is called The Lady and the Orc by Finley Fenn, but it's this entire series probably. I was actually chatting to like a friend, or I don't know if she works for BK Borison. She was at a BK Borison event I went to, and she could not say enough good things about this. I've since seen this everywhere. I feel like Finley Fenn is a very well-known name within the monster romance community. It's just not an author that I have read yet, but I'm very excited about this one. I have got it downloaded to my Kindle. It is available on KU. It's ready to go for whenever the monster romance moment strikes me. And this is another one of those series where they're all interconnected, I believe, but they do follow different couples. Next up on my list is this little dark academia monster romance called Nocturnal by Cleo Evans. What are you? I don't know what he is. What is this? What are you supposed to be? This has a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde inspired botanist male main character. This one does have some dark content trigger warnings, by the way. And she's a psychologist. Also, if you like characters that are slightly older, female main characters that are older, this one is in her 30s. I love dark academia. I love monster romance. I've never read a dark academia monster romance, but also this is by Cleo Evans, who I've already spoke about today. I saw this little foiled baby on her Polycon pre-order for last year, 2025, and I had to pick it up. Look at her. Look how gorgeous she is. How have I just noticed the quote on the back? It says, "I did not know I could love until I watched you smile after murdering those men." Delicious, divine. I'm really excited for this one. It's a standalone. I don't think there's any others in this world. I don't think she's written any of the books within this series. I think it is just this one. And I also like the fact she's in like a little baby mass market paperback size. I think for autumn, this would be a fantastic read. And the final one I want to talk about that's on my TBR is an alien romance series, and this is the Zaviri Mate series, or Taken to Varaxia is book 1, I think, by Elizabeth Stevens. I didn't actually know this existed until I recently read the 8 After the End dystopian novellas in that kind of Adriana Herrera and Ali Hazelwood Kickstarter thing that's happening. This was by far my favourite one. There was one in there by Elizabeth Stevens called Taken, and I don't know if it's set in the same world as Taken to Varaxia, but I love the writing style and the humour and just the enjoyment and the spice and so much. Taken to Varaxia is high on my list. This is another one where I've got the first book downloaded, ready to go. I just think it looks great. Look, I had a good time with this one. If you're wanting like a laugh out loud, hilarious, funny alien romance, I feel like this is going to be it, just based on what I read from that Taken novella, which again, I don't know if it's set in the same world or with the same premise as the Zaviri Mate series, but if it is, even if it's not, I'm diving into this as soon as I'm in the mood for alien romance. And that is everything. That is all the books I would recommend to you for now. Maybe I'll find some more in the future, and also some of the books that are kind of on my priority TBR in that alien and monster romance space. If you haven't given alien and monster romance a go, I really, really recommend you do. I just think they are such enjoyable books. Everything on this list I've rated really highly, and hopefully there was quite a bit of variation here in terms of like some was cozier, some was more contemporary, some was more kind of heavier fantasy, some was darker. I genuinely think there is something in alien romance for every single person that watches this video. Also, something I didn't mention is in Whispers of the Deep, the mermen have 2 dicks. You're welcome. But other than that, I will see you in the next one.